So come on in, take a sip. Let's wind down. It's Wednesday, and it's a wonderful day. We're halfway through this thing, and that means we're on the antepenultimate grid of the week for the Guardian Cryptic types out there. Really love Wednesdays. Probably because it's got something to do with work. And I like to just be able to think I'm halfway through this week now. If I can just get through Thursday, pretty much phone it in on Friday, and then you got Saturday and Sunday to do nothing. But then what do you do on Friday and Saturday and Sunday? You do everything. Do you get any rest? No. It's a vicious cycle. It really is. But we have a gorgeous Schwarze Johannisbeeren. This is a cassis, and it's got more of the golden brown and orangey brown type of finish on it. It's the dark. Of course, this has been sitting here and diluting here for a few minutes as I've done the New York Times as well. But it's a Kir Royale. Just add some creme de cassis de Dijon and just until you feel comfortable. And then pour the rest of Prosecco, champagne, whatever you've got. Prosecco is so widely available in Germany, as is Sekt, the German version. We get that quite often. And we just love the stuff too. It's dry, but it's a nice little refreshing drink, so to speak. But if you throw in this creme de cassis de Dijon, it just kind of adds that slight bit of sweetness. That's somewhat guilt-free. And it's just great, especially when you got a sweet tooth or when you're looking for a dessert of some sort. And this is one of my favorite cocktails. And I know Shotzi adores this one more than she even does the Aperol Spritz, so you can't really go wrong with that. But yes, Prosecco here, somewhat of a commonplace banality, really. Now, something that has taken place in England recently, and I have not had a chance yet to try one. I am dying to try one of the sparkling wines from England. I keep reading about them over and over again, and you guys are getting a lot of sun up there in certain portions, which might be where I have to move if I ever decide to become subject to the crown, which I would be all for right now, but I've always thought London would be home, but I think my wife would be suicidal with the lack of sunlight, so we're not going to probably do that anytime soon. But I do love London. I am an Anglophile, and I can tell you right now, I'm dying to try the sparkling wines from England. So one of these days we will get there. So the dictionary.com word of the day for us is hooey. And literally, I pulled it up here because it's got a very lengthy definition. Silly talk, writing, or ideas. Now, I don't know what it's like in the UK. I've spent a lot of my life there, but not enough to understand these subtle nuances. In the United States, I think we use hooey as a euphemism for BS. And, that's just a bunch of hooey. Yeah, okay. Do you mean silly talk? Probably not. You probably mean it's a bunch of BS, right? And I know we're familiar with the term BS because I see it in The Guardian all the time, right? So, you've got bulls there too, right? And I'm assuming they do, what they have to do to stay alive. And so therefore it exists probably on every civilized continent. However, silly talk, writing, or ideas, it's an interesting concept. So hooey isn't really all as negative as maybe we make it out to be. I don't know. It's an interesting way to look at that. And constructors will sometimes zero in on this kind of thing. Setters and constructors, same thing. Two cousin nations separated by a common language. I get it. All the jokes is funny, but I think that constructors will laser focus in on the idioms and on the exact meanings, and I think that's pretty clever to be on one step ahead of them when we can be. So there it is. Horrible hiccups today, by the way, as usual, it seems. But let's hop into our grid, see what we got. We've got a Cryptic Crossword number 29760. Man, we blew right through those 50s, right into the 60s. How is that possible? 30 July, here we are. Wow, we did it. Okay, seems like just a week ago I was complaining about how that 50 number, or that 40 number never changed, and here we go. We're on it. Okay, Brummie, what do you got today? What have you constructed for us? What have you set down for us? Showing foresight, Stay busy to get rid of a cold. Well, I'm not going to be able to prognosticate in that one. Drunk as well as teetotal, so abandoned. So abandoned. 433. I think it might be high and dry, and that's exactly what the definition would be, or what the clue is referencing, right? Drunk as well as teetotal, high and dry. So abandoned. He left me high and dry. Nice, let's get to it. Just hope it's right. Precarious organization has, of course, new department introduced. 525. Precarious organization. That's going to come to me, I'm sure of it. Shield fell over. Offending soldier placed here. 9. Oh, I mean, I got that G. I don't want to give up on it just yet. I don't know what I'd put there anyway, but I kind of want to stay the stockade. But it wouldn't be, it would be too short anyway. So, okay. Visual color mixing ring replaced by 1. Visual, yeah, I'm going to go with ocular. Seems to be the thing. Shield fell over. Offending soldier placed here. I'm going to assume guard something. Out of date. Take care. North American people's plates showing signs of aging. Lime, say, ornamental button for tiny jumper. Lime is a fruit, maybe a tree, maybe a tone, tint. I don't know, too many 4-letter combinations there to think of. Craft. Capsized by cougar, power lost, shock. Star, American pioneering scientist. Star, American. Okay, no, Star, American pioneering scientist. I'm thinking A-lister. And is it Alfred Lister, the Listerine guy? I don't know. Pioneering. Don't know that yet. Let's see. Richard's coastal features. Richards. Is this Sir Cliff Richard, the musician? Because I'm thinking, in my head, every time we've gone to England outside of a plane, we were usually driving from Calais to Dover, and you see the white cliffs of Dover tomorrow. Yeah. On-air bloomer, often seen on Bake Off. Bloomer, flower, Bake Off flower. So we've got maybe a homonym. Hospital quota for oxygen supply. No idea. Oh, I see it. That's a house of cards. Okay. Precarious organization. House of cards. I say that like I'm an expert. No, I'm not. And I watched the show for maybe half a season. The American one. I don't know. Why do we do that? Why is there a British House of Cards and an American House of Cards? I mean, we had the Bureau. The French had the Bureau. Man, why? Was everybody afraid of subtitles? Not only that, but when we got to the bureau, was that what it was called? The bureau or the agency? The agency. Okay, so in French it was le bureau, which means the agency. And then you got, and what did we get for ours? I mean, like the Yank version, we get the British guy. And not only that, what's his name?
Office.
But what was this guy? Michael?
From the agency?
Yeah.
I don't know his name.
I can't either. Anyways, I will. It'll come to me. But the point is, a handsome fella. I think we're like the same age. A tough dude. I want to say keep saying Ironside or something. It's not that. But the point is, he's just he's a great actor, but he's British. And then you had Lord Grantham was in there too. What is it? Bonneville, Hugh Bonneville. Michael Fassbender. Yeah, Fassbender, Ironside, same thing. I mean, but the point is that, like, why do we have a different thing? In fact, so much so, my mother-in-law asked me one time, she's like, well, what about the American Downton Abbey? I'm like, is there one? I mean, like, I had to question myself for a minute, even though there's not one. I mean, I had to really think, do we have an American version? Should I watch that one too? If Lord Julian has done it, then we want to see it. And if you haven't seen the new season of The Gilded Age, maybe it's not available or something, even though Lord Julian Fellows is the one that created it. Fly down to Bavaria. We'll binge watch it with you. I could watch it over and over again. This season, all seasons, amazing. Has that man ever written anything bad? No, he's not. Out of date. Take care. Out of date. I think this is Ghost Steady. That would be out of date, all right. That sounds like something out of Happy Days. And then take care. Ghost Steady. Out of date. Ghost Steady. All right. It looks like Guard is working out for us, but I haven't got a clue what's going on with the second half of this. I don't know. Clearly something that we do not share army to army from the UK to the US. Guard, I don't even know what we would even call that. A guard duty? But an offending soldier placed here. Yeah, you put somebody who screwed up on guard duty. I don't know. I don't even know if that would even work. Lime say ornamental button for tiny jumper. Okay, tiny jumper tells me frog, and I'm assuming lime is a tree. Tiny jumper. Ornamental button. Yeah, that's a frog. Okay, so maybe a tree frog. We'll try it. North American people's plates showing signs of aging. So I think we're talking about the Crow tribe. So crow's feet. That's clever. Power, lost, shock. Shock. I don't know. I think my nurse wife would agree with me. Shock and trauma kind of go hand in hand. So is this maybe a guard room? A guard room? This is why I didn't just jump all over guard duty. I'm gonna have to look that up. A guard room. Is that like a hoosgow of some sort? Is this like where like a jail, like the stockade? Don't understand what that is yet. Satire, grrr, awful. That's official. Okay, I've got 9 letters. I've got 6 in satire and 3 in grrr. Got 2 R's, grrr. An S, so... Just give me a moment. I'm so sorry. It takes a while for me to work through anagrams. Assuming it's even one, but I think I got registrar out of this one. My grandparents hated playing Wheel of Fortune with me too, so don't know. Essential to have one good horse. It seems like a really super clever grid construction here today by Brummie. Well set, Brummie. Well set. Space program at first offers venue for prospective buyers. Nobles had to be trained for fare. Now, mince pies. Still not tempting at first. These hiccups are awful. Okay, we'll deal with that in a minute. Strangers bust wired, about to get uplift. Okay. Well, we're getting ready to be moving into guessing crazy stuff. Given a lift, Australian is hugged by Ruby. Boundless universe with short relative assimilation process. We got a C at the end of this one. Showing foresight. Stay busy to get rid of cold. We could have prophetic here. And considered unfinished article, nothing unusual. Scottish woman attached to railway unit. With an H, got a hen maybe? A hen railway unit. Railway? How about we go for Henri? Henri, not Henty. All right, so dance, passion, sergeant. Panda, originally arboreal, sadly an endangered species. Panda. Originally arboreal. Arboreal. I'm not quite sure. I'm thinking polar bear, but I can't make the connection. Is a polar bear endangered species? It seems like it might be. Oh, I hate that. Very cold, about 40 seconds to get inside. Maybe frosty? Yeah, I think I got enough for a polar bear now. So let's do that. See if we got it. And so maybe flamenco. Sergeant, yeah, NCO. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Considered unfinished article, nothing unusual. Thought. All right. Okay. And boundless universe with short relative assimilation process. We were just talking, Shotzi and I were talking about osmosis. I almost put osmotic because that was the word I used earlier. Let's see. Given a lift, Australian is hugged by Ruby. To be raised. Nobles had to be trained for fare. No, nothing yet on that one. Strangers bust wired, about to get uplift. Well, one acting without love, male for instance, a pessimist. A pessimist. So this could be a sayer. I gotta do it in order. Maybe a doomsayer. Wow, we're getting kind of hung up down here, aren't we? Space program at first offers venue for prospective buyers. If that was an H, no. I'm gonna put in raised. That was my first thought, and that's what I have to kind of start doing. Essential to have a good horse. Hospital quota for oxygen supply, or maybe aeration. And that leads me to a Mustang, which is also very clever. Which takes me to prospective buyers, a venue, maybe a showroom. Stranger, weirder. Mince pie still not tempting at first. Ellipses. You might want to spell it correctly. Ellipses. Cis. Wow, I don't know. I don't even think I know what this is supposed to be. Nobles had to be trained for fair. It looks like ash blonde. We'll put it in, but this I don't know about at all. There's a couple here that I'm not too sure of. Everything seems to line up. I don't know. Let's just check and find out. Why don't we see what we got? Let's. How do we do, Bob? Let's do it again. There's just no confirmation. There's no haptic. There's no sound. There's nothing. And I never know. But I think we might have come out on top on this one. So, Brummie, what an outstanding grid today. And this key Royale is fabulous. Let me be the one to tell you. What a wonderful, wonderful grid. There was so much here that was so clever, but I have to tell you, I think Go Steady was the funny one, right? You know, I mean, that was good stuff. And I got to look up what a guard room was, or is, or whatever that seems to be. I don't know. Yeah, I would have put guard duty in there if this were a Yank grid. But, you know, I don't even know, like anybody at the New York Times really understands a lot of military lingo, right? You know, we still use stuff like O dark 30 or whatever instead of 0 dark 30. I mean, you never really know. I mean, don't want to give them a hard time. Not everybody in the United States, for example, like 1% of the country has served their country in uniform. So it's an odd fraternity to be in for a guy like me, you know, an artsy progressive dude that just likes to run around and, you know, eat and drink wine and enjoy, you know, galleries and music and culture and languages, you know, always working on some language, you know, trying to get my Vietnamese to get better, working on my Czech, you know, I'm just always learning something new. Versus, you know, the full-on alpha types, you know, they're all like, you know, kind of a thing. I mean, but it is a pretty interesting fraternity to belong to, and you'll make friends immediately. I've had conversations with people wearing MAGA hats in hotel bars and stuff, right? You know, so we find out that you were both, you know, in uniform at one point in your life. You got something to talk about. You may bitterly disagree on everything else, but it's kind of cool, you know, at least you've got that. So it is what it is, but outside of that guard room, guard duty thing, no. I mean, that was that, and I'm not quite sure I understand at all whatsoever the where was it? Got the Doomsday. Well, it was one of these here. I guess aeration was a thing. And registrar, I figured out because of the fact that was an anagram. I was able to kind of piece that together. But yeah, there was just one or two things in here. The primary thing that really had me confused was the ash blonde. A train of hair, perhaps, right? You know, I don't get that one. But I see I've got 59 comments here in The Guardian that I can go and read, and surely somebody will address it. But if you know, I'd rather hear it from an expert that actually views this channel. I know that our audience is very, very bright. We'll bring in our Benny here, Dad. And we'll call this good for the day. So just be well until the next time we see you. Be nice to strangers. And until we do see you, ich wünsche Ihnen einen schönen Tag noch. Auf Wiedersehen. Tschüss. Servus. Grüß Gott. Ciao. Cin-Cin. Be well out there, and we will see you on the morrow for the Thursday and the penultimate grid of the week. Cheers. Be well out there.